Welcome to the news at 4 on Canal de English. I'm Elie Smith. The headlines. The Mongo division is known to be one of the main breadbaskets of Cameroon. This time around, the government is relaunching the cocoa and coffee sector, which used to make her play a leading role in the country. Enow Abrahams Egbe is the new head of Elections Cameroon, the elections organizing body in this country. But what new thing will he bring? Those were the headlines. We'll be beginning our news from the Mongo division, where stakeholders in the cocoa and coffee sector have expressed satisfaction with improvement in the production and processing of cocoa and coffee in the Mongo division. For more, Gladys Ambo-Diba.
The cocoa sector in the Mongo division of the littoral region remains a real preoccupation for stakeholders. They met recently to discuss the completion of the maturation process aimed at improving cocoa production. There has been the need to relaunch the sector through the processing of a large quantity of cocoa. At the moment, there are about 450 tons being processed. This year, we are at about 3,500 tons. We think for the 28,000 tons we produce annually, we can process part to increase income and create jobs. Challenges were, however, raised, amongst them lack of funds and fertilizers. The responsibilities of stakeholders were also highlighted. The real stakeholders must be Cameroonians themselves with the support of the state. I have been in the processing sector since 2005. During the meeting that held at the SDO's office in Nkongsamba in the littoral region, participants, most of them stakeholders in the cocoa and coffee sector, expressed satisfaction and say the workshop is a great stride in improving their capacities and cocoa sustainable production. With this effort, project heads expect a real relaunch and effectiveness of local processing of basic products like cocoa and coffee.
Enow Abrahams Egbe is the new president of Elections Cameroon. He was appointed via a presidential decree signed by President Biya on the 25th of April this year. For more, Tabby Clarkson.
Enow Abrahams Egbe is the new strongman of Elections Cameroon, ELECAM. The former senior divisional officer and governor for 5 years, from 1997 to 2012, is henceforth the president of the Electoral Council. A presidential decree signed this April 25th makes Enow Abrahams Egbe president of the council. He takes over from Fonkam Azu, who for some time now has been at loggerheads with the director of Elections Cameroon, Abdoulaye Babale. Enow Abrahams Egbe also served as Inspector General in the Ministry of Territorial Administration and Decentralization. Enow Abrahams Egbe, who is Senior Civil Administrator by profession, is therefore a man who knows administration and Elections Cameroon, especially as before his appointment to the post of President of ELECAM, he was one of the 18 members making up the electoral body. Mrs. Marie Ekobena will be assisting Enow Egbe Abrahams. Madame Ekobena will henceforth serve as President of Elections Cameroon. Mrs. Marie Ekobena is a graduate from the National Institute of Youth and Sport, the ENGS. She graduated from the school in 1983. She is a sports lady, as she served also as Inspector General in the Sports and Physical Education. She also did sociology in the University of Yaounde. Mrs. Ekobena appears to be the woman that will help Enow Egbe Abrahams in his tedious task of electoral organization. The presidential decree signed Tuesday has also maintained some members in the body, notably Mrs. Dorothy Njoma. Enow Abrahams Egbe and Marie Ekobena will have as first real challenge the organization of the senatorial, council and legislative elections next year, equally the presidential election to come up by the end of 2018.
And back here in the littoral region, precisely in the Mongo division, where the population of Nkongsamba in this part of the country are living in fear. Why? Because armed robbers have gone on rampage. More with Gladys Dibang.
Some alleged bandits are terrorizing inhabitants of Nkongsamba in the Mongo division of the littoral region. They are said to have burgled several homes and schools, precisely Government Bilingual High School, Nkongsamba. The hoodlums made away with household items and money. My office was burgled and I thought I was the only victim. But I discovered later that there were 4 other offices that were also visited by the bandits. In the presence of the brigade commander, we noticed that the drawers and other cupboards in the offices were forced open. At the principal office at first, we thought nothing had been stolen, but in the boss's office the situation is worse. A large amount of money has been carried away. The return of crime comes after the population had been living without fear for the past months. Meantime, they are counting on security forces for their safety as they now live with fear of the unknown.
Meanwhile, in Yaounde, the president of the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, Peter Masfani Muthonge, his vice, Umaru Jika, the Secretary General, Dr. Chi Cornelius, and 15 other members have been officially installed today. The installation ceremony was presided over by the head of government, Prime Minister Philemon Yang, who was there acting as a special representative of the head of state, Paul Biya. The National Syndicate for Operators of Drinking Establishments in Cameroon, together with their partners, have held a press conference in Yaounde. And what were they talking about? Beatrice Ngamo tells us more.
The bar, off-license or drinking establishments, is a very flourishing business here in Cameroon. The number of pubs along the streets tells of the number of persons involved in the chain. A sector that employs numerous youths and contributes not only in the fight against unemployment, but also to the development of the country through her taxes and other bureaus. Between business and services, a balance needs to be in place. The National Syndicate for Operators of Drinking Establishments in Cameroon, Sinedebok, is to put some order and clarify things in the sector. Ahead of the 131st International Labour Day come May 1, 2017, they organized the Barman Week. This to sensitize bar staff on their rights and responsibilities. And it is under the theme, Barman for a Just and Reliable Taxation in Drinking Establishments. The press conference this April 26th by the trade union Sinedebok and partners. This 7th edition will continue tomorrow with the guided visits of some of the bars in town. Saturday, April 29, there will be a sports walk in the morning to be followed by a gala night in the evening at the Yaounde Conference Center, all to be crowned with the Labour Day March past on May 1st, 2017.
While in Yaounde, it was about those selling drinks. In Douala, it was the National Commission of Human Rights and Freedoms that wants to involve civil society actors into the monitoring of human rights abuses in the country. And our reporter, Ndi Maureen, was there, and she brought back this report.
Human rights abuse remains a major preoccupation for Cameroon. The National Commission on Human Rights and Freedom wants a better coverage and follow-up of human rights cases on the field. To achieve this, they have associated civil society organizations in the monitoring system. It is the objective of this workshop that opens in Douala on April 25, aimed at reinforcing the capacity of civil society organizations on monitoring of human rights. Members are from all nooks and crannies of the littoral region.
They are always in the process of learning about human freedoms, learn about human liberties, learn about human rights. So monitoring is kind of capacity of being capable of coming to school to know the rules and regulations of this institution and to learn how to apply them in the society and cooperate between the National Commission and the civil society. That it will interchange the capacity and the system of education, of learning, and educate each other how to come about to defend human rights and human liberty, and also how to teach people how to the process of defending their cases in a given situation or nationally or in this littoral region.
The human rights defenders are still to get abreast with the laws regulating the sector. They equally face several difficulties on the field, particularly with forces of law and order. They are always accused of being offended when told of human rights abuses.
We are improving, although not everything is okay, but we are improving, especially in the littoral region, where we have a lot to do and have a lot to learn.
By ensuring effective monitoring of human rights, experts say it will help them master the situation of human rights abuse in Cameroon.
Well, from human rights abuse to culture, where the musician Nkotti Francois, who is the organizer of the famous Fomaric Festival, has invented a new concept. And what is it all about? It is called Mula Taco, which means gathering. And one of our reporters was there, Christelle Catala, and brought back this report.
After the Fomaric Festival, which will be clocking 25 years next year, the promoter of the event, Nkotti Francois, has come out with another concept called Mula Taco, which means gathering. The event is aimed at bringing together inhabitants of the economic city of Douala and entertain them during 1 week ahead of the 20th May celebration. I think that the club Nkotti has launched a new concept, but this event is an event of gathering around the 20th May celebration. Mula Taco Event 2017 is a melting pot of culture, sports, and business, which, according to the promoter, is another concept that differs from Fomaric. I know there is a difference. There is no sport in Fomaric, neither marathon race nor a mini football tournament. There is also no film at Fomaric, so it is a concept I baptize a melting pot of culture, trade and sports. Mula Taco Event 2017 will begin from the 13th to the 20th of May 2017 at the new site of the cinema ground called Canal Olympia. Several activities like a grand concert, a football match, auction sales, and a marathon race, amongst others, will grace the event. Nkotti Francois, through this initiative, intends to contribute to the maintenance of peace, unity, and stability in Cameroon.
Well, on that note from Christelle Catala and the extraordinary initiative from Nkotti Francois, also known as Desto, that will be putting an end to this program this afternoon. And coming up next will be Obosi with Cletus the Senator. Tomorrow is another day, God willing.